Talking about challenges, I mean, it's a double-edged sword for you. Wales and the World Cup. I mean, your first spell against your current spell is a little bit like night and day, isn't it? Is it proving the old adage that you should never go back?
Some people have said that, but I'm not afraid of that. A lot of people said, "Oh, are you worried that you were going to tarnish
What you achieved before.
achieved in
Yeah.
your reputation?" I don't care about that. It's not. So what?
What made you go back? They asked.
They asked. I put so much into probably heart and soul and the people and the fans and everything, and I just thought, there's an opportunity there.
Because there's a lot going on, isn't there? I mean, you've got television documentaries talking about toxic cultures. You've got stupidity. I'm sorry, I think it's stupidity about songs being banned because of choruses in it. You've got players threatening to strike. I mean, you yourself have said, I had no idea. I didn't realise a lot of these things were going to go on. And the challenge is this because you love this mentality, don't you, against all odds? Is this...
That's what drives me.
This drives you. Is this the ultimate embodiment here, with all the background noise and all the background travails that are not just about producing a winning rugby team? It's about holding the bleeding thing together, lock, stock, and barrel. Is this the ultimate against all odds?
That's a bit of both. I get a buzz out of
overcoming adversity, proving people wrong.
Yeah, that drives me.
Yeah.
Even I'm driven, but kind of am I driven a little bit more at the moment? Yeah, I might not say too much of that publicly, but we're working our butts off at the moment. There's no expectation. Have we been proud of what we've achieved in the past? Yeah, we have. Have we overachieved as a nation? Yes, we have. And is rugby important to Wales? Yeah, it certainly is. So,
steeped in their history, and I mean, it's part and parcel of it.
But we're incredibly still critical of ourselves, and and sort of don't always. There's a lot of negativity there at times that frustrates me. When you coach international sport, or particularly, and the football managers will tell you exactly the same thing, is that the greatest thing about the World Cup and the preparation, it feels the first time like you're back at a club side, like you're doing pre-season. The in-depth stuff and the detail that you can do in that sort of 2 or 3 months that you're together building for the World Cup, and that's what I'm excited about at the moment. But when you go into a Six Nations campaign, you got the players who come in for 2 weeks, and so you've just got to prioritise in terms of what are the things that are important that we've got to get ourselves ready in such a short term. So, to me, coming back in a World Cup year was probably the biggest reason, the biggest decision that I said yes to doing, because I felt like I can make a real difference here in that period.
You set targets in your mind beforehand?
Yeah.
You do?
I set realistic targets.
Yeah.
And then...
To whom? To them or to yourself?
To both.
Right.
So what's our target? Our target's you'd have our group make quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I've been involved with teams that, before the other team, you get a psychologist come in and you get sitting there and you got a group of players and saying, this is what we're going to do, we're going to win this, we're going to win that, and win a World Cup, and I'm going, oh my God, I don't even believe that.
Do you believe in sports psychology?
Done in the right way.
Yeah.
I think it can be powerful and giving clear, distinct messages, people learning from those things. But I also think with psychology as well is that I don't want players to use psychology or have it as a crux where they're relying on it. It's kind of like, sometimes you go through some issues where they might want to build some confidence to talk to someone, but then they're making sure that person says, my job now is to wean them off me and always be available. But I've seen...
In the end, they've got to do it, haven't they?
Yeah, and I've seen sometimes where I've sometimes felt that, a mental skills person or psychologist is there almost being, like I said, that crux for that person where they're always there. And I'm not sure that what I've seen is that relationships always been 100% healthy for the player or for the team.
Now, you took Wales to the World Cup semi-final in 2019. This time round, what constitutes success for you?
Well, we've got to get past. We're in a good side of the draw, so we get to the quarterfinals, and that we've got a good chance to go a long way. And the thing with the Welsh boys is that for them, they build on momentum, they build on confidence, and they start really believing. And there's a great, and I haven't shown the players this year. After the World Cup in 2019, we played in South Africa in the semi-final, and Razzie Erasmus, he gets up and says, "These boys are tough. They're not going away. They won't give up. They're not soft like England and Ireland and Scotland. They're tough. They don't know when to give up." And it's a video I've got to show our guys again. That's where I when I see that, I'm pretty proud of.
That's right. I was going to say that's an embodiment of you, isn't it?
Yeah, what people thought about us, and we probably that slipped a little bit, and we need to get back to what people think about us. And so for me, so there's no guarantees, but
is it fine margins in these sort of tournaments?
Absolutely. So if I go back to 2011, where we should have made the World Cup final, where Sam Warburton sent off in the semi-final against France, and we lose the game 9-8. We lose the opening game of that tournament to South Africa 16-15, and I'm still convinced a penalty goal went over. That was disallowed by the touch judge. And then we're playing 2 games later, we're playing Samoa, who are a really good team, and we're down at half time. And we lose that game, we're out of the World Cup. And yet we go on to probably, could have made the final. Maybe if we made the final, you never know what would have happened. But I go down to the change room at half time, and Sam Warburton has the players in a huddle, and he just said, I said, come in there, and he's there, and he goes, "We're not going home. We haven't gone through this pain. We haven't gone through the hard work that we've put into this tournament. We are not going home." He said, looks them all up, "We are not going home." And I sat back and went, well, I don't need to say anything.
That'll do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit like Martin Johnson lining up at Croke Park, isn't it? The wrong way and not moving for the Irish.
Yeah.
That'll do, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll out, and we've gone out and played well in the second half, and, have won that. And
the coach gets all the credit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was brilliant at half time. Yeah. People, what did you say at half time? You must have been amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said bugger all. I didn't need to say anything.
Well, because you set it up already. And if you've got players in your side that have got that attitude, then that's a reflection of the culture you created in the first place, isn't it? It's a reflection of them, but it's also a reflection of the environment. Yeah,
hopefully. And then how do you create that self-belief, and how do you create that will and want? And that's kind of been my thing with the Welsh boys in the past, that they've never shied away from the hard work. And we've said, I often say, if you ask them to run through a brick wall, the question would be, all right, what do you want us to do when we get to the other side? Not why. Yeah. And
so you can work with that, though, can't you?
Oh,
you can work with that.
Absolutely, yeah. But they've got to believe in you. Yeah. You got to create that belief in you and your staff and people around the environment that you create. If you're able to do that, then I think all of you can go on a journey that sort of can, hopefully do something that's special, create something.
To it, yeah.
And we're going to have our ups and downs, because I said we're not the biggest playing nation in the world, and we're going to get retirements and players and injuries, and that doesn't always help. But to me, it's not about winning. So I'm trying to change a bit of the narrative of this group at the moment, because they've been under a bit of pressure, and sometimes you go into press conferences and the question, is this a must-win game? Do you have to win this game? And I go, well, yeah, sometimes it has been, but for me at the moment is I'm not going to focus on winning. What I want us to do is and to create some of the things I spoke about, mental toughness. I want us to become a really tough team to beat.
Yeah, and then you'll win. Yeah. So get the fundamentals.
Yeah, if you become really hard to beat and you start working for each
other, the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah. Have you thought about coaching some rugby? You might be actually quite good at it.
I don't know, mate. It's easy to say, much more difficult to do it.
Yeah, so just those sorts of if we can get a lot of those fundamentals right in terms of within the team, we'll do okay.